You can't hold me down. There's one thing you should know, you can't hold Mr. G down. Hey everybody. Mrs. J, are you having dinner right now? We're back. And I fixed everything. Hey Google, play Bach. Okay, where were we? Any questions so far? I guess that was my brief hey Google, play KMFA. Alright. New Mexico. Waiting for see anybody have any questions or anything. I'm pretty sure everything's going to be running smoothly now. I was on a roll there at that opening lecture, huh? Hey Google, pause. Here on the board I have a picture of Las Vegas, New Mexico. Las Vegas, New Mexico has a population of about... Hey Google, shh, be quiet. Las Vegas, New Mexico predates Las Vegas, Nevada by over 100 years. Las Vegas, New Mexico used to be a major gunslinging town. That's where the famous Billy the Kid and also Doc Holliday were from. Hey, aloha. Everybody heard about Doc Holliday in Arizona at the OK Corral. We learned about that earlier this week on Tuesday. But he was actually from New Mexico, as was Billy the Kid. Billy the Kid, you know, he reminds me a lot of Britain, you know? I mean, he kind of looks like my old friend Britain. But yeah, Las Vegas, New Mexico, I've been there many times. Like I mentioned, I used to work on a farm. I was a manager of a farm in Rivera, New Mexico, and we would grow all kinds of tomatoes. We would grow heirloom tomatoes, green tomatoes, purple tomatoes, yellow tomatoes, tomatoes for salad, tomatoes for cooking, tomatoes for pasta sauce, tomatoes you could eat like an apple, all kinds of tomatoes, but we also you know, grew a lot of other things as well. But we would sell them at the Santa Fe Farmers Market, I believe, on Saturdays, and at the Las Vegas Farmers Market every Friday. So I went there every week for, you know, about 12 or 15 weeks, maybe longer. And I got to learn a lot about Las Vegas, New Mexico. Like I said, it's one of the oldest towns in New Mexico. And they kept it with the Wild West look. Here's another better picture on the board. One thing I really... actually, we would go to Las Vegas, New Mexico quite often. We were halfway between Las Vegas, New Mexico and halfway between Santa Fe, New Mexico at the particular farm that I worked on. Hey, Super Roofer. So at the particular farm that I worked on, we would sometimes go to Santa Fe, New Mexico, and sometimes go to Las Vegas, New Mexico. One thing in Las Vegas, New Mexico that they had there is these Lithium Hot Springs, and the water's boiling. Some of the springs there's like 12 to 20 different springs, I guess. Some of them, the water is so hot they'll melt your skin off and you can't go in them. But most of them, people go there and the water is supposed to have this healing nature. I actually went naked, actually. It says no skinny dipping, but I was looking really good then, like real, anyways. Nobody complained, right? Me and, I don't know, that's funny. Let's not talk about the naked teacher, all right? Anyways, there's these Lithium Hot Springs, and they've been there for hundreds of years. So Billy the Kid was from Las Vegas, New Mexico. Doc Holliday was from Las Vegas, New Mexico. So I'm pretty sure they're the same exact hot springs that those guys probably also sat in as well. They're the main attraction in the town, but they don't advertise. They don't advertise. You think that's funny? Well, you want to know something funny? I was sitting in the hot tub naked And then I had to stand up for some reason. I'm like, oh, well, I was thinking, well, if I stand up, they're all going to see my penis. But I was thought, oh, well. I was just like, no, oops. I should have just let her say that. But I was just like, I don't care. There's lots of military in Las Vegas, New Mexico. There's a lot of military bases. No, the fifth largest state, area-wise. The only states that are larger than New Mexico are Alaska, California, Texas, and Montana. Shout out to Nessa. So yeah, they're big on military, oil production, gas production, tourism. They used to be now they actually have uranium mines in like third world countries. My employer actually, invested like $48,000 over the weekend on uranium, and he was just going off about it. But the majority of the uranium used to come from New Mexico. Also, perlite, if you guys know what that is, if you have a garden, and if you know the type of glass they use to make pots and pans. Okay, we're back now. Alright, so we'll talk a little bit of history. Talk about modern day Santa Fe. One thing about Santa Fe is what they're known for is the Santa Fe Trail. The Santa Fe Trail was a trail that went from Missouri to Santa Fe, and it was very significant during the Spanish-American War. The reason the United States even owns the areas known as New Mexico is because of the Spanish American War and the Treaty of Guadalupe del Hidalgo. The Treaty of Guadalupe del Hidalgo gave what is now the area of New Mexico to the United States. Granted, that was in 1848. New Mexico didn't become a state until just before Arizona, a month or two before Arizona, in 1912. So it took a while. It was the New Mexico territory for a very long time. And yeah, more history going back even further. What New Mexico is known for is the Anazani culture, and also the Cliff people, the Chaco people. Most recently, if you guys watch Joe Rogan, I've heard a few interviews that he's had with people that have discovered the Chaco people. Here on the board, I'm not on the board, but here on the screen you see that famous Anazani cliff site. And I don't have the exact dates, but this used to be known as the oldest, this as well as the Clovis site were the oldest dated sites in North America, but that was before they discovered the more recent Chaco. Well, imagine, you must really hate your life if you give it a thumbs down, right? Like, imagine waiting till I go live just to give my teaching streams a thumbs down. If you found this on YouTube and you're not live, I apologize for zooming in on Demi Lovato's face. But if you found this on YouTube, you found a good spot. If you want to learn about New Mexico, then you're in the right spot. All right? So continuing on, what are some, I told you I worked on a farm in New Mexico. What are some things that grow well in New Mexico? Well, I told you we grow a lot of tomatoes, hatch chilies, as you can see the hatch chilies make up the flag, and a lot of their food as well. We have a very extensive food portion of I it's known as the Q, also known as the Dirty Q. It's one of the most violent cities in the United States. It's in the high desert of the southern part of the state. So there aren't many mountains there. It's in the desert. Part of Albuquerque is also known as the war zone because it has speaking. Is it showing you is